Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News, and right now I am joined by Daniel James. Got a big fight coming up at Bellator 293, the main event. How's it going, Daniel?
I'm good, man. Everything's great. Ready to rock and roll.
Absolutely, man. First things first, main event slot, Bellator 293, big fight against Marcelo Golm. I guess, what are the emotions feeling like ahead of this main event, and how pumped are you to get back in there?
Well, man, emotions just control. I learned a long time ago not to take those emotional dumps. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, as long as I'm comfortable doing what I do, I kind of avoid those things. But I'm looking forward to the fight against Marcelo Golm.
No doubt about it, man. And do you feel like re-signing with Bellator and the second stint with Bellator, kind of came at the perfect time of your career in terms of, you're on a 4-fight win streak. You have more experience now, more confidence. I guess, what are your thoughts on the second stint with Bellator?
I think this time around with Bellator and everything, I'm a lot more mature I'm a lot more mature in the sport as a fighter and in my skill. I just feel this time around was actually better for me because, like I said in the beginning, I was still learning as I went forward. And I'm glad I got a chance to learn a lot more traveling the world, fighting, and being outside of Bellator before I came back. So I think Bellator brought me back at the right time.
Do you feel like that experience of traveling the world and being in other promotions like LFA and all that, kind of gives you an advantage in terms of now having that experience, over some of the other heavyweight contenders?
Yeah, I think that has a big advantage over a bunch of heavyweight contenders because for one, it's I just think that fighting on LFA and fighting ACA, things like that, gave me the opportunity to, like I said, grow, but also gave me a chance to get the feeling, and develop those skills that I needed to be able to go back to the big stage. So now it's just like I think the big advantage is that most of these guys was fighting amateur or training to fight while I was pro, and I was still at the same day I was still learning, and now the learning curve is still there, but now it's just me just being more experienced, knowing my way around the cage, and using all that to my advantage.
No doubt about it. And obviously, you're entering this fight with a 4-fight win streak, as I mentioned earlier. Kind of talk to me a little bit about that. Like, what do you feel like are some of the improvements you've made over your last few fights that have kind of led to this win streak, and now you're in a main event?
Through the 4-fight winning streak, man, it was a whole story behind that. I just became I had to lead a nice guy behind. You know what I'm saying? I had to lead a nice guy behind, and I'm had to become. I say, okay, I got to start beating these guys up, and I gotta stop focusing on knocking the guys out and start just beating the guys down, becoming more of a threat, becoming more aggressive in the cage, and making my presence more felt. You know what I'm saying? So I think that right there, every fight it gets uglier and uglier and uglier. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to focus on just overwhelming these guys with my presence and my power and my movement and like literally try to just like literally destroy the guy in the cage. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nothing left in the cage. I don't need nobody saying, "Oh well, he won because of this." No, he won because he literally beat his ass. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want.
No doubt about it. And obviously, Marcelo Golm is a guy with a similar amount of experience, really tough guy too, pretty well-rounded. I guess, how do you see this fight playing out stylistically, and how do you see this matchup playing out?
First off, I think it's a good matchup. Second, I just think Marcelo Golm is going to come out. I expect him to do what every other guy wants to do. I'm going to go out and do what I do. First and foremost, I'm going to have my hand raised. But I have fought against fighters. No disrespect, I fought against fighters like Marcelo Golm. You know what I'm saying? But I just know that most guys like Marcelo Golm haven't fought against guys like me. Not saying that I'm just amazingly better than guys. It's just like it's a little different. I'm a big human being, powerful. I'm skilled. I know what it is. I understand it's a fight, and somebody has to win. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really give a damn about what you throw or what's coming my way. I'm gonna fight my fight regardless, and you just have to be ready to be in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I plan on this fight. I predict this fight. This one fight going to stay standing. You know what I'm saying? I know Marcelo Golm is a Brazilian guy, supposed to have a little jiu-jitsu, whatever. I fought those guys. But the thing is, it's not a wrestler. It's not a big grappler. You know what I'm saying? But my pressure is going to dictate that. So I'm going to make him I'm either he fight his fight because I'm going to fight my fight, and I'm going to get him to fight he's going to try to fight my fight. And that's what's going to put itself in deep waters. Whether they go first round to the fifth round, we ready for all five. We always ready for all five. We just don't ever make it to it. That's all.
Do you kind of take pride in that in terms of, putting a lot of pressure on your opponents and pace and pressure? Do you kind of take pride in that as a part of your style?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's just like getting chased by a bear. You know what I'm saying? You running from the bear and everything. You won't look back because you get close to the kid. You're like, oh, here you go. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, being a big bear, man, and moving forward like that, throwing those strikes, and you know what I'm saying, like something bound to happen. You know what I'm saying? Not only throwing strikes, you know what I'm saying, moving forward, head moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love boxing, so it's like that play a big part in my movement inside the cage. So moving forward like that as a big individual, it's like a Mack truck running into a Honda Civic.
No doubt about it. And obviously, I know you're not looking past Marcelo, but obviously, you get a win in this one. There's a very good chance you could potentially get a title shot next, or at the very least, a number one contender fight. I guess talk to me a little bit about that, and what are your thoughts on how you could potentially match up with Ryan Bader?
I've been asked that question a lot, and me matching up with Ryan Bader, I think that's actually that's a great matchup. I think it's a great matchup for me, and I think it's a great matchup for him because I don't think Ryan Bader has fought against a guy like I don't want to keep saying like the size difference. I think I'm the biggest heavyweight for Bellator. You know what I'm saying? You have guys that might be taller, but I'm the biggest heavyweight. But Ryan Bader fighting against me, a big individual, he has to carry my weight. He has to stand on the end of my punches. He got to find his entry. He got to find a way in. He get an opportunity to try to go for a takedown, and that's defended. You know what I'm saying? So after all that is done, what happens next when you stand back up? You know what I'm saying? Like you lose your belt, and it go home with me. So that fight right there with Ryan Bader needs to happen. Man, listen, after this fight, like I don't know what Bellator waiting on. When I finish Marcelo Golm, Bellator should reevaluate everything and say, man, this title shot to David James because we're gonna sell the tickets, we're gonna sell arena out. People gonna want to come see David versus Goliath. You know what I'm saying? But Goliath win this time. And at the end of the day, I think it'll be a good show for the company. I think it'll be great. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to fight Ryan Bader after this fight.
I gotcha. Last question for me. What are the headlines going to read after you get your hand raised at Bellator 293? What are we going to be talking about, and how's the fight going to play out?
Daniel James defeats Marcelo Golm at Bellator 293 with a mean ground and pound. Boy, Daniel James finished Bellator 293 with Marcelo Golm with a crazy straight right hand to the floor and knocks him out. And he remains on a 5-fight winning streak, gets ready to fight Ryan Bader, Chicago, June. Let's see who takes home the title there.
I love it. Well, hey, absolutely, no doubt about it, man. And before we wrap things up here, I'll give you the final word to shout out your team, shout out any sponsors you're working with, and I'll give you the final word, man.
Yeah, man. I'd like to thank, first and foremost, my team, my training, my coaches, Coach Alex Trujillo, Coach Reyes Hurtado, Dan Mikey Barnaby, Ed Carpenter, Boris. I'd like to thank those guys for pitching in and helping me out, man. I'd like to thank my sponsors, All Meal Prep, Windy City Mushrooms, the best in the game. I'd love to thank my management company, Sugar Punch Entertainment, Brian Rivers, Chad, Brian Hamper, all them guys have made it possible for the big man to be here today. And I cannot forget those guys and them being the best in the game and doing what they do. caring about fighters.
Absolutely.
You
Well,
gotta rep
Daniel, it
Chicago.
was absolutely, man. Yeah, got to rep Chicago. And Daniel, it was great to meet you. Great to chat with you for the first time. All the best with these final few days of camp, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon, man. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
And thank you, man. Thank you for taking the time out there to give me this interview. Thank you.